Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader. And before we can get started, let's go ahead and get through our obligatory risk disclosure here. Okay, we're going to start off with our risk disclosure. Okay, just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, or sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now we've gotten through the risk disclosure here, we're going to go ahead and move into our financial news portal here and see what news we have today. And quite frankly, we have very light in the way of news. Okay, so we have Verizon earnings. Now this week, a fair amount, well, actually a good amount of earnings this week across, I would say, mostly tech. Okay, tomorrow you can see here that we have a good amount of earnings, Coca-Cola, General Motors, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Texas Instruments, all reporting earnings tomorrow. Okay, and then we have, I guess, some of the bigger names, Tesla, Google, reporting on Wednesday. Okay, and then we close out the week with the normal initial jobless claims, PMI, home sales, things of that nature. Okay. All right. We have also we have a press conference on FOMC here coming up on the 30th, but I think it's a couple of weeks away here. Okay. All right. So now that we have a feel for the news, which is actually quite light, let's go ahead now and move into the portal here, and we'll start to take a look at the platform. And we're going to go ahead and start in on our normal market here, and that is the gold. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with a daily chart, nice clean chart to start with. Okay, you can see that we're getting a pretty strong move today in the gold. Okay, you can see that we're developing quite the bullish candle here at the moment. Market has been, as of late, as you know, quite range bound. Okay, I would say overall market has been creating bearish and bullish candles here along the way, but today we seem to be developing quite the bullish candle. So let's take a look here at the 4-hour chart here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart, and you can see that again we have starting to begin some create some structure here that would indicate that we are looking to head higher in this market. Okay, so we have over the last series of 4-hour candles here, we made higher highs and higher lows. We're starting to break some structure here to the left-hand side. This area here at 3380, okay, is being challenged as we speak. All right, and we're starting to come into some areas here at 3400. This is another area of past resistance, and we're coming into this area quite strong. Okay, so again, similar to the daily chart, we are seeing some price structure that would indicate that we are looking to head higher here. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move down to the 30-minute chart. This is where we're going to start opening up some of our tools here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile here and get a sense for what price, where's price in relation to Friday's price action. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off here right about there, and then we're going to drag that. Oop, that was not quite what I wanted to do here. Let's remove that. Let's see if we can find the fixed range volume profile here. Okay, there it is. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the start of the market here on Friday, drag that across to the close right about here. Okay, so you can see that price is well above, okay, well above value from Friday here. Okay, all right, well above. Well, so we have a fair amount of longs, okay, in the market here. All right, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range. I mean, that's fixed our anchored VWAP. Okay, anchored VWAP, and we're going to go ahead and take a look and see where price is in relation to where for London. Okay, you can see that price is well above London as well. We're going to go ahead and open up our standard VWAP here. If right there. Okay, you can see that we're above that as well. Okay, we're already at some of these one standard or at least one standard deviation away from the VWAP itself. Okay, so fair amount of strength. Okay, obviously this kind of move, this kind of vertical move is not a sustainable move, but also a move that's very difficult to fade. Okay, so obviously headed into the session, it does appear that we should be looking for some bullish price action here. We have to understand that we are a ways away. Okay, we are a bit, I would say, extended to the upside, and we're going to go ahead and open up my ASR tool here to see how far of an extension we are. We're going to go ahead and open up London here. We still have an hour away here, for London to remain open here. So let's go ahead and see if we can hide this. Okay, this. Okay, so you can see here that we're approaching the stage here that where we are kind of beginning to extend above the ASR range here. Okay, so statistically, okay, we can say that we are looking a bit extended, I would say, in this market. I'm assuming if we want to participate to the bullish side in this market, it probably would be advisable here to look for maybe a little bit of a pullback here, okay, before we look to participate to the long side in this market. Okay, the fact that we've already exceeded the ASR range, that could quell the momentum of this price action. Okay, the fact that we've broken this quite early in the session indicates that we could be in store for maybe a sustained move to the upside. Okay, so for me, as I head into the session, I'm gonna again remain. My view on this is bullish, but I need to wait for a reference level that I can base my decision. Now, whether it's already kind of held above this ASR zone, or whether I demand a little bit of a pullback down to maybe one of these VWAPs, that would be a good course of action. Or the other option is waiting for the initial balance extension to take place and then waiting for a little bit of a pullback to look for a move to the upside here. Okay, so the fact that we are I would say 3,400 does remain an area here to keep an eye on. It's a psychological level. Okay, and again, it could cause price to potentially stall. Okay, so headed into this session, I would say that in the gold market, I am bullish, okay, and that I need to look for opportunities to the bullish side, but I need to find reference levels that allow me to manage my risk. Okay, right now it would be somewhat difficult to manage my risk because I would need to take a trade and potentially, place my stop below some of these levels here. Okay, at least below this this level here, which is a fair amount of risk to take in this trade. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead now and move into the crude oil market. Okay, similar kind of view here. Actually, not quite similar. We're going to look at a similar set of time frames. Okay, and you can see here, unlike the gold, looks like this market is looking to make new lows here. Okay, you can see that the market is continuing in this bearish structure here to the downside. Okay. Right, we had this swing low, we had a kind of a pullback, and now it appears that we want to continue our move here to the downside. Okay, so daily, is looking bearish. Okay, daily continues to look bearish. 4-hour, let's take a look. Okay, 4-hour again. Let's turn off initial balance here for a moment, and we'll go ahead and extend this out here a little bit. Okay, so you can see we're going to go ahead and lock this up here. All right, so looking at this here, okay, you can see that the market does continue to show signs of bearish behavior here. Okay, you can see that we had, I guess, what was this? Looks like a rollover. Okay, we just rolled over to a new contract here, and again, you can see that we remain in this bearish structure to the downside. Now, we did make an attempt here to head higher, but this was just prior to rollover. Okay, and now we are, since then, we've been in this bearish structure here to the downside. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Let's go ahead and open up the 30-minute chart here. Okay, so we'll take a look. Again, you can see that we continue our move, okay, to the downside here. Okay, so again, we continue to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Okay, again, similar to what we saw in the daily and the 4-hour, the 30-minute is also giving us the same kind of view here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price is in relation to Friday's price action, and we will see, we'll confirm that indeed we are below value here. Okay, so again, indicating again that there's a fair amount of interest. Okay, the market did indeed open to the downside. Okay, so if we don't come back into balance here in short order, then there's a good chance that we continue our move here to the downside. Okay, you can see that price is below our VWAP, right? Right here, right? You can see that price is below our blue line, which is our VWAP. Okay, this is our value low line. Okay, value area low. That's going to be relatively important as well. If we are unable to get above that, then the path of least resistance, in my humble opinion, is to the downside. Okay, if we do manage to close back inside, there's certainly the possibility that we can head up to 66. Okay, 66.40. Before then, maybe we sellers begin to step in here, because we do see that there has been some sellers here in the past. Price was not allowed to make it back up to these guys before sellers stepped back in again. So it'll be interesting to see if this 30-minute candle does indeed close below value, okay, or continues to stay below value. Again, that will lead us to a move to the downside here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up the initial balance range. We're going to get a sense here what kind of initial balance range they're being established here. So here we are. We have our initial balance range that is relatively, I would say, slightly below normal here. Okay, normal range is probably about good 40 ticks, okay, of range generally. Okay, right now we're working on 22, so we're basically half the range at the moment. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, if we are unable to hold this, then I would say that the path of least resistance is lower. If we start to break some structure in the short term, we could certainly get back up to 66.30, okay, before we maybe continue in some sort of range kind of price action in this market. So I would say, again, headed into this market, I would say I remain bearish. We are seeing a little sign here that maybe we found an area where we maybe have found some buyers, okay, temporary buyers here. Okay, you can see that buyers kind of stepped in this area. We'll go ahead and draw that in with a horizontal box here. Okay, so you can see that we appear to have found some buyers of this market. Now, assuming that if this area could hold, right, then this is maybe providing us a little bit of evidence here that the market has the potential of bouncing off this area. Okay, has the potential. Can't rule it out. because if we're going to remain in a bearish trend, we will obviously need to see a new lower low. Okay, but for now, I would say that the market remains bearish. Okay, moving on to the Nasdaq. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the Nasdaq. All right, so here we are. We're going to start off with the daily chart. Okay, it looks like we've had some sellers maybe potentially step into this market here. Okay, so we had a bearish candle, kind of indecisive candle here that was closed here on Friday, and now we have a equally indecisive candle that's developing today. Okay, I don't know if that's in anticipation for some of the earnings expectations that we're going to receive this week. Maybe a preemptive kind of exiting out of some positions, but the fact remains that we are developing a little bit of an indecisive candle in an otherwise in a market that has shown some strength. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so taking a look at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and close off the initial balance range. For now, we're going to take a look and see. Okay, so you can see that we've created maybe a little bit of a double or beginnings of a double top. Okay, so double top here. We got one top. We're developing a bearish engulfing for the second top here, and right now it appears that maybe the path, okay, is lower. Okay, in this market. Right, daily showing some weakness, 4 hours providing us a bearish engulfing. Okay, really no indication here. Maybe some indication here since the close that we have maybe some minor bullish action, but nothing of significance. Okay, so let's take a look here at the 30-minute. Okay, so you can see that price did indeed make it below our VWAP. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price is in relation to Friday's price action here. Okay, so we're going to go back to this area right here, drag that across to this area here. Okay, so you can see we're still about 20 minutes away from the open of this market, and it appears that it's looking, I would say, to potentially open inside value from Friday. Okay, I'm just kind of turning off my bands here for a moment. So we're starting to get some indication that maybe the market wants to head lower. Okay, so we have closed a candle back inside value. Okay, so and then we have our point of control down here around 23,210. Okay, and then we have our value area low here at say 22,000 or 23,189.50. Okay, right now it stands to reason for me that given the fact that we closed back inside value, that before we make any sort of move in the opposite direction, that we will revisit this area below. Okay, before we see any sort of potential reversal in this market. Okay, so I would say that early in the session that we would potentially test this value area low, and then at that point maybe we remain in range and head higher. Okay, so higher time frame chart daily again continues to show strength. The 4-hour is showing some signs of weakness here, that maybe we are a little bit of a topping pattern. So it's quite possible that we remain in some sort of range leading up to earnings. Okay, that is certainly within the realm of possibility. We have some supportive areas below here around 23,187. Okay, that is an area of support. We have this 23,200 level. That's the ASR, average session range level. That could also be an area that could be supportive in this market. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our anchored VWAP here just to get a sense of what kind of do we have buyers or sellers in this market right now. And I would say right now we have some sellers in this market. Right, London is giving us indication that we have some sellers. If I move this back toward the Asia market here, let's see, here. Okay, you can see that also Asia is showing that they are, short on this market. Okay, so a lot of, I would say, a lot of shorts, bears in this market at the moment. So it'll be interesting for me to understand whether how well price reacts around 23,189, 23,200, because these are kind of logical areas that we could potentially see some buyers, right? We had some buyers in this area in the past. All right. And so headed into the session, I would say that I guess more bearish than bullish at the moment. Okay. The fact that price is below our VWAPs. Okay. The fact that price has managed to get back inside value. That is an indication to me that maybe we're going to explore maybe a little bit further to the downside before we maybe potentially find some buyers at lower levels. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the ES here, and then we'll take a look at ES. We'll take a look at the Dow, and then we'll make one final pass across all the various markets here. All right. So we're going to start off with the daily, just like we did with the Nasdaq. Okay. So you can see, right? We did manage to close above. Right. We had this bullish candle that closed above this area. And that has been met with a little bit of indecision at the moment, right? A little bit of indecision. We had a kind of an indecisive candle that closed on Friday, and now we're also kind of developing a little bit of an indecisive candle at the moment on the daily. Okay. Nonetheless, we remain in some sort of bullish maybe pattern here, right? We're making higher highs and higher lows, so we cannot deny that. But we are seeing maybe a little bit of a slowdown here of late over the last couple of days. Friday for sure. Today is yet to be determined. Okay, let's go ahead now and move into the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart again, you can see that we have a bit of overlapping candles. Similar to the Nasdaq, we have a developing bearish engulfing candle, which could provide a leg, maybe a potential leg to the downside, okay, in this market, right? We could easily come back down to this 63.24 level if we manage to break above. We managed to break below. Let's start with 63.40. If we manage to break below 63.40, then I would say that this 63.30 certainly in the cards, and then ultimately I would say we can get as low as 62.75, 62.70 if we start to break some structure here to the downside. Okay. Right now, the fact that we're developing a little bit of a bearish candle here up at the highs is giving me kind of an indication that maybe there's another leg lower in this market. Okay. Along the lines of what we've been seeing every time we've been to these highs, right? We've had a leg lower, right? Came to a high, had a leg lower, came to a high, had a leg lower. So if we're going to follow this pattern, then I would say that the path of least resistance or the path forward appears to be lower. Okay. Moving into the 30-minute chart. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart here. Let's go ahead and open this up here. Okay, so looking at this, we have price that's managed to get below our VWAP. Okay, again, another indication that maybe we are in the beginnings of some bearish price action. We're going to open up our fixed range volume profile here, okay, and get a sense for where price is in relation to Friday's price action. Okay, and we'll drag that across here. There we are. Okay, so you can see price is I guess a bit stronger than the Nasdaq, right? Price is still above, right? We were already getting price inside value when we were looking at the Nasdaq. Okay, so I would say again, kind of what we alluded to earlier on the 4-hour chart, right? We have this area right about here, right? This 63.3725 level. The expectation or anticipation is that area could be supportive. Okay, so we're going to mark that in as green, right? And that could offer us maybe a location where we can manage our risk and offer us maybe an opportunity to the upside. Okay, now if we are going to follow the path of the Nasdaq, well, then the expectation is that price is going to close back inside value, and has certainly the potential of, if we do close back inside value, then I would say point of control is a visible target that we'll reach, and maybe potentially the other side of value here at 63.26. Okay, so as long as price remains below VWAP, my view will maybe look more to the bearish side. Okay, we did see on the 4-hour chart that we are at a level that could offer us maybe a swing to the downside. So I would say that headed into this session, I'm looking maybe to participate to the downside, with the understanding that I do have some areas here that could offer some support. So again, we have value area high, and then we have point of control here around 63.30. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at, let's see, our ASR ranges. So we have this ASR range of 63, 29.50. Okay, that could be a reasonable target for a downside move. Okay, that would take us right back to this area here on the left, where we see that we've had support in the past. Okay, so that would not be an unreasonable target for this current price action that we're seeing in the ES. Okay, so headed into the session, I would say that I'm looking maybe a bit to the bearish side here, with the understanding that I might be coming into some areas here that could be supportive. So I have to evaluate whether the risk reward is in line with what I would like to do here. But the fact is that we are below VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and actually add one last thing here. We're going to add a anchored VWAP to this discussion. All right, and just get a sense from the London's perspective where we are. Okay, so let's see if I can locate that. It's right here. My anchored VWAP here. We'll go ahead and start with the London session, which was right about here. Okay, so you can see that in London we also have a fair number of folks that are bearish on this market. Okay, all right. So before kind of reviewing the last market, just kind of encouraging people again to hit the likes and hit the subscribe buttons if you're not a subscriber. Also, don't be shy as you see these videos available on the portal to make a comment or two on how these sessions are supporting your review of the markets here. Okay, let's now go ahead with that. We'll take a look at the Dow, and then we'll make one final pass of the markets. Okay, we'll just take one final peek here to see what the markets are doing in anticipation of the market open here in about 10 minutes. Okay, so you can see here the Dow probably more in a consolidation range than actually getting to maybe some of these highs. Again, similar to the other markets, this does appear to be a market that continues to be bullish. We are in some areas here that we're kind of maybe developing in range. Okay, maybe potentially for a leg higher. Okay, but I have to be, I guess, cognizant of the fact that we've been at these levels before. Okay, and the fact is that these levels in the past have generated and found some sellers. So I would say that the longer that we spend up here without making a new high, the greater confidence that the sellers are going to have and come in and potentially drive price lower. Okay, so I would say that we're kind of maybe in the beginning stages of maybe a potential move to the downside. Okay, based on what I'm seeing here, we're up, kind of creating a little bit of topping patterns here that could cause maybe the price to head lower. Okay, 45,000 on the daily chart remains a relatively strong level. Okay, resistant level in this market. All right, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, again, you can see right, we are in this kind of channel. Okay, this is giving me kind of a little bit of a different look here, while the Nasdaq and the ES were creating a little bit of a double topping patterns here. We have kind of the fact that the Dow remains in this bearish channel. Okay, and every attempt that price has made it to the top of this channel, we've reversed, right? So we're at the top. We got to the top. We reversed away from it. Okay. Now the question becomes: are we going to get to the other side of this range, or are we going to find some buyers that are going to allow us to potentially exceed this range? Okay, right now we're starting to see maybe a little bit of price action to indicate that maybe we found some buyers here, but we're not out of the woods. We're still very much inside some bearish structure here. Okay, that could lead to lower pricing in this market. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We're going to take a look at the fixed range volume profile here just to get a sense of where price is in relation to Friday's price action. And let's take a look. We'll click on this, and then we'll look for the start of Friday here. Okay, so there we are. Okay, dragging this across to the close of Friday, right about here. There we are. Okay, so similar, I would say very similar to the ES. Okay, the ES market and the Dow seem to have some similarities here. Okay, so you can see that price is above our value area high here. Okay, so there we are. This is above our value area high. All right. So again, the view is that while we remain above value, that this area here could be an opportunity to participate potentially to the bullish side of this market. Okay, if we do manage to close back inside values, something that we were seeing in the Nasdaq, then we have the potential certainly of getting to point of control and maybe the other side of value here that we kind of identified here, also with the ASR range at 44,454. Okay. All right. So while the market is, I would say, showing some signs, I think headed into this session, I would say I'm seeing a little bit in the way of more kind of bearish price action here. So again, certainly on the lower time frame here, this most recent move doesn't impress me necessarily on the bullish side, right? This feels more like a retracement. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw these parallel lines here and see maybe if I can get maybe an early indication that they want to take the market lower here. Okay. Right now we're in the bullish channels, really nothing to do. Okay. Other than potentially, participate at the lower end of this channel, looking for maybe another move back to the top of the channel. That's kind of, that's one opportunity. Otherwise, we're looking for maybe for a bigger move, then we need to get out of this channel and with volume and look for maybe a move that would take us maybe as low to this 44,453 level to the downside, and maybe back to the highs here at 44,800. Okay. So again, similar to the other equity markets, I would say that my view of this market does appear to be a bit bearish. It's going to be interesting for me to see how well, if we are able to close back inside value, that would give me further evidence of my bearish view. Okay, let's go ahead now and make one final pass across all the markets here, just to kind of see if we got some additional data here. So you can see here that the gold market continues to show signs of strength here in this market. Okay, so we've already kind of exceeded the ASR range here. Market does look, I would say, quite bullish. All right, I don't know if I said bearish. Market continues to show some bullish price action to the upside. So I would say headed into the session, I'm looking for some bullish opportunities. Okay, looking at the crude oil market. Okay, I would say crude oil market is quite opposite to the gold. I would say the crude oil market continues to look bearish to me. If we manage to break below this initial balance range and break below this area of support, I would say that the 65.25 level does not seem like a level that is beyond reach. Okay, in this market. Okay, so crude oil looking bearish. Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq. Okay, so we've come into the edge of value, starting to see maybe it's going to act as support. Okay, as long as price remains below my VWAP, I'm going to continue to look maybe for opportunities to the bearish side. If we start to get price above VWAP, then and maybe above this level here at 23,300, then my view could change here. But right now, we are hovering, or we are reacting away from this value area high. and that could be a spot where we rally from. Okay, at least I can manage my risk. But we remain in some bearish price structure here at the moment, right? We over the last set of 30-minute candles, they've all been bearish, and we are below VWAP. So my view, at least headed into the session, remains somewhat bearish. Okay, looking at the ES, okay, similar kind of view. Okay, similar kind of stance here. Okay, so again, we haven't made it. We did not make it back down to value area high, and looks like we found maybe an area here. Okay, looking at this area right here of some support here, some demand zone here, right? Right, we've reacted from this level again. Price drove back down to this level, and we're finding some buyers again. So that again could offer us maybe a location to support a bullish trade. Okay, fact remains that we remain below VWAP. So again, my view remains until we get above these levels, bearish. Okay, and then the last market we're going to take a look at today, and that is the Dow. Okay, and that again, similar to these other markets. Okay, again, we are below our VWAP, kind of in some sort of range, kind of price action inside some sort of bearish structure. So I would say that the path of least resistance, this feels more like a retracement for maybe a possibility or continuation here to the downside. We haven't really in my humble opinion, until we can get above this level here, we remain in some sort of bearish structure. Can we find bullish trades in this market? Yes, but I would say the area to focus in on is some of these like the low end of the channel, maybe value area high seem to be, or even point of control could be some areas, spots that we can maybe potentially take some bullish opportunities. Okay, so with that, guys, we'll go ahead and close this session as we close all sessions. Don't be shy with the likes. If you're not a subscriber, hit a subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and basically have an excellent day trading. Okay, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk again soon. You're welcome, George.